If I don't hear from you otherwise, I'll assume that we are live and broadcasting. And this is a special broadcast. I've got Clive in the house, and I've got Steve. Say hello, Steve.
Hello, everybody.
And Steve is from Little Treasury Jewelers. He's my favorite Grand Seiko AD, and now, of course, an Omega AD. So that's all good stuff. So let me switch back here. I'm going to try to get my iPad fired up so that I can also monitor the chat there. And Clive is taking a look also just to make sure that everything is copacetic on the broadcast. And Clive is in flyover country, so we're making sure that our signal is getting out to flyover country. How does it look, Clive?
Looks just great.
Well, there we go.
I can see Steve just fine. I can see you just fine.
Okay,
unfortunately,
good.
I can also see myself just fine.
Well, there you go. All right. So I've paused it. We've already got some comments. 3 of you. Hey, guys. Okay. All right. So let's get the Bitcoin stuff out of the way real quick so we can talk about the fun stuff, the watches. So it is the 10th anniversary of the Genesis block of Bitcoin. So Bitcoin can officially be called 10 years old. So those that have predicted over the last 10 years more than 300 times, the major media has called Bitcoin dead, finished, finito, 300 plus times. And I guess they're wrong so far. 10 years down the road, it still is surviving. That's why it's gotten the nickname the honey badger. It seems to survive just about any attacks. So we'll see if it lasts another 10 years. I'm pulling for it. I'm, of course, a longtime Bitcoin holder, and I like the fact that it is unconfiscatable, that it is not regulated by any government authority, that I can send it to whoever I'd like, and they will receive it, and nobody can mess with that transaction. I like the fact that it can't be inflated. It's capped at 21 million units, period, for all time. And nobody can decide to all of a sudden just willy-nilly make another couple million of them. So with all that said, Steve, is there anything you can bring us up to date on regarding Omega? Everybody's been asking about Omega, and do you have any special news about a special broadcast coming up?
Well, yeah, I think that, is it next week we have something going on? What's the date we have set, Craig?
We're hearing it right now for the first time. We're hearing an announcement about a special show. Tell us what's going to happen.
Well, I'm going to go up to visit Craig in his mountain lair, and we're going to bring some watches. I'll bring some Omega. I'll bring some of our special Grand Seikos and a few other brands that many of you probably haven't heard of, and have a little discussion and show and tell. We're
going to talk about watches. And can you check your calendar to see what that date and time is? Because I don't have it in front of me. And we'll see if Clive can make it. Maybe he can pop in, because he's got a bunch of watches. And while we're waiting, Clive, do you still have a watch for sale? Give us an update on the sale.
Well, I still have 2 for sale. The Air King, the 116900 went, as did the vintage Archie Luxury Fuck-Off 36mm Explorer 1, the 14270. I still have it. No, I've got someone is showing interest in the Explorer 2, the 16570, but they haven't pulled the trigger yet. So almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. So
okay, so what's the price again on that one? What's the Flyover States price on that piece? And show it again.
Well, and this one is a 16570. It's Swiss-made dial, Super Luminova. It's got solid end links, holes case. No box and papers. I'll let that one go for $4,500.
$4,500. My gosh, that's a Rolex watch for less than $5,000 with a complication. Show that one more time.
With a complication.
Show that one more time. That is something. There's something to be said about flyover state pricing. Let me click on that so I got you on the screen. Holes case, nice and trim. What's that, about 12 mils thick?
Yep, 40 millimeter with steel bezel, non-rotating.
And a GMT,
Also,
GMT function.
GMT function, and it's also not the Archie Luxury Polar. This is for This is for Explorer 2 owners that want some self-respect.
This is for real men. Yeah, this is for real men. Absolutely. Well,
hashtag Black Dials Matter.
I'm going to predict that that's going to go. That's going to go. And what's the price one more time? And how do they reach you?
$3,500 plus shipping.
Wait, not $3,500.
Oh, I'm sorry, my bad.
Hey,
sorry.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
No. $4,500 plus shipping. They can reach me at CliveWatchWrangler@gmail.com. And the last one I have is like a 4-year-old ceramic Submariner, commonly referred to as a no date. It's the 114060. Box papers, complete set from 2014. Low mileage, not, very good condition, and $7,300 plus shipping. This is, unfortunately, with the way things are with Rolex right now, you can't even go to an AD. If you can go to an AD and pay more money and wait, or you can get this one now for me and have it available immediately
at flyover state prices.
Flyover state prices, $7,300 plus shipping. CliveWatchWrangler@gmail.com, continental United States.
And I'll put it in the description of this video once we wrap. And it's on the previous video, by the way, that's got like 2,000 views. The previous video we did talking about your watches just the other day. So people have been jumping on that. Let me go over the comments real quick here so we don't get way behind on this. And we got a telemarketer trying to call me. I hate that when we're live on TV. Okay. So let's see, we've got Clive, I found an 18-karat gold President unworn safe queen, all original box papers, bezel protector, polishing cloth, unsigned original warranty paperwork, white 18-karat gold, Roman numeral. I don't like the Roman numeral or the white gold, but you can comment on that, Clive.
Well, he doesn't really say how much.
That's right. That's not in here. And there is a message being held for review. I don't know why that is. Okay, so 14K, what do you guys think? I guess that's the watch, 14,000. That almost feels like QVC. This almost feels like QVC. They're talking about your watches for sale. It's better than QVC because you're getting a real Rolex from a guy who knows Rolexes, and there you go. So does the vacuum come with a box and papers? Paul, offer 12.5K.
Now here's the really funny part. At one point, my vacuum cleaner had 3 Facebook accounts, none of which I had anything to do with.
There you go.
Swear to God.
So they're saying Paul should offer 12.5K on that watch. There always needs to time for watches. Turkey. Okay, I guess this guy's in Turkey. And Paul says offer 14K. Paul says 14K. Well, anyway, a date. He doesn't even say the model number. Well, 2000. No. It could be an 18238, or it could be the 11. It could be the 6-digit watch because they transitioned in 2000.
Now they didn't. I don't think they had the 40. I don't think they only had. I think they only had the 36.
So 36 mil, but it could be the 6-digit. They transitioned about 4 months into the year, 4 or 5 months into the year. They transitioned in the year 2000 over to the one with the solid center links and so forth, and then they transitioned again a few years later. They went with the newer clasp with the beak and so forth. Yeah. So they transitioned the clasp even later on. Steve, any comments on the date 8?
Not for me. I'm not so much of a Rolex guy.
You got too many beautiful Omegas laying around to be thinking about a date 8 right now.
And a few other things.
Well, I actually have a thing for vintage, and I actually think for vintage watches, Omega is where the hot action is. Yeah, because I think back in the day, Omega and Rolex were roughly neck and neck when it comes to quality and prestige. But if you look around, you can find a really good quality Omega for a fraction of what a Rolex is for the same price. A lot of times the same quality. All
right, a question for Steve. What is what is in store for Grand Seiko this year?
Well, I don't have a real clear idea. I think we're going to see, or I'm hoping we're going to see some introductions in the U.S. of some ladies' watches.
Okay.
Right now, the collection is really just one piece, and it's.
And there was another question that you can answer.
Yeah.
How well do GS sell at your store?
Really well.
Really well. Okay.
Very, very hot for us.
Okay.
Does your store have a website or an online presence, or is it just brick and mortar?
No. LittleTreasury.com.
Yeah, LittleTreasury.com, and he's got a good website, and he ships all over because he's the best guy to deal with when it comes to Grand Seiko. We've tried to keep the Grand Seiko a little bit of a secret here on our channel. As you know, we don't talk about them much. I'm going to cut to a close-up of my diver with that second hand just sweeping along. That second hand.
I think I'm having problems with my internet connection. I thought you said that. Let me see if I can.
Yeah, I don't talk about Grand Seiko much. There's one on the screen, full screen, GS diver with the spring drive, and you can see that second hand is just smoothing right along, and it's going to do that for decades. Nobody's going to open that watch. It's just going to sit there and sweep right along for decades. It's the honey badger of watches. Go ahead, Clive.
I was going to say, or is it soothing right along? Do you find the Grand Seiko action soothing? Soothing, absolutely, yeah. It's
mesmerizing.
People use that term, mesmerizing, often on my videos. That's exactly what they say. They can't get over the second hand. So there's that.
That one right here. I don't know if you can see that.
Okay, we can absolutely see that.
Okay, this is the limited edition SBGA 387 US only. 600 pieces.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Yeah.
So I think Tim Massa was showing that on Watchbox recently, and you've actually got it in stock.
I have several, actually.
He's the guy.
I also have the rose gold version, part of the trilogy, and the platinum in stock.
This guy's no joke, Clive.
And there are only 20 of the platinum pieces in existence.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Clive's been thinking about a gold stunner too. He's headed that direction.
Be a buzz, Bob.
That's why he's been liquidating his steel stunner Rolexes to make room for a gold stunner. Evening, everyone, from Thomas Burnett. What has Rolex done that Omega didn't do to be seen as superior to Omega and one of the most prestigious and famous watch brands? Well, super aggressive marketing, but Steve is probably going to change all that, because what happens when Steve gets involved with a brand is they tend to explode. So grab your Omegas while you can. Just like 6 months ago, I told you people to buy your Grand Seikos while you could. And those of you that paid attention did, and you're sitting pretty right now. Same thing with Omegas. You better grab them now.
Well, and I think part of it is Rolex, in a way, Rolex kind of had the business advantage being set up as a nonprofit. You know, literally a cloak of secrecy, no stockholders to have to satisfy, no annual reports. They can basically do as they pleased under basically cover of corporate darkness.
That's good
Omega,
news.
on the other hand, was still publicly held. And so, you know, if Rolex has a great year, they can sock it away and invest in processes or whatnot. You know, they can have a war chest that they can keep funding their marketing and their research and development for years to come. Omega, on the other hand, publicly traded, if they receive an overage, they have to give it away to stockholders. They have to issue reports to stockholders.
Sure. But they're geniuses when it comes to marketing, too. And they were one of the first to get the celebrities to wear them. They got lucky with the James Bond thing because there just happened to be one on the set, right? Mm-hmm. That's how that ended up in the movie. So some luck and some skill. Here's a question for you. Hey, Clive, what would you say is the ultimate Rolex of all time? And if he's gonna delay in answering, I'm gonna say the 18238 date 8, no question. It's a slam dunk. It's a watch you can wear all the time. It's gorgeous, and people that say it's not gorgeous don't know what they're talking about.
Well, it means ultimate's kind of a weasel word. It's kind of vague and amorphous and squishy. I'd say iconic. It's a generational thing. If you're over a certain age, what pops into mind with the Rolex is a two-tone date just with a champagne dial. If you're under a certain age, it's the Submariner.
Yeah, but you only bought the two-tone if you couldn't buy the date 8. Because we were buying them back in the day, and that was the deal. The people that bought the two-tone ones didn't have the scratch for the date 8.
No, that's true. They weren't as much scratch back then as well. I mean, they were still expensive, but nothing like they are now.
Yeah. Okay, so here's some more questions. I believe that TGV at the Urban Gentry just reviewed the Grand Seiko model Steve is holding. It was very well received. Well, absolutely. And once you get one on your wrist, you'll receive it well, too. What are some of your favorite watch brands, Steve? And let me just read a few more of these questions, and we can do them as a batch here. Steve, are you carrying new Bronson Seamaster 300M professional coaxial? I don't know what that is. Rolex prices are dropping. Yes, they are. And Clive is going to get out ahead of all that. He's going to liquidate. And he's liquidating at fire sale prices. Turkey Vulture says Explorer. And Blue Shirt Buddha says Explorer. Steve, what is your favorite watch in your collection? Okay, so Steve, go ahead and address those questions.
All of those questions?
The ones to you.
Okay, so favorite watch in my stores collection?
Yeah, what are some of your favorite watch brands, Steve?
Okay, well, obviously, we love Grand Seiko for many reasons.
And you personally own at least one that I know of.
Yes, I do. I have the SBGE033, a limited edition with a green sunburst dial, a spring drive, beautiful piece. And looking now at the SBGA 387, perhaps to add to my collection as well, the one I showed you a picture of. I really love it. So, but in our store, we've got about 24 brands. As we mentioned, we just recently, about 6 weeks ago, added Omega to it. And they're beautiful. We're really learning the collection. It's huge. Aside from that, we're a major Bremont dealer. We really love the brand. We love the story, the people behind it. Really well made. Everything's a chronometer in the collection. And really neat pieces from the UK. We have a German brand, Alexander Sharakoff, little known, bills itself as art on the wrist, very creative dials, many different styles, but a little boutique firm in Germany owned by a former citizen of the Soviet Union who immigrated during Perestroika to Germany, and so the watches blend German and Russian aesthetic. And, Alexander visits us every year, and charming man, and collectors come, meet with him. So we enjoy that a lot. House and Watch Company, it's a Maryland company that founded by two gentlemen in Towson, Maryland, who are really extremely talented horologists, as well as watchmakers. They know everything. And again, they come to our store, meet with our customers, and do some interesting pieces. Nomos, we're also a dealer for Nomos Glashütte. I think most people will know them who are into the watch world. And, they make in-house movements at extremely affordable prices, very great design aesthetic, and we do very well with them additionally. So those are some of the highlight brands that we carry.
And we did put out a video that has shots of a lot of those. Let me ask you a question, Steve. How far away is your lavalier mic system?
It's within reach.
What I'm thinking is, do you still have the you have the mixer, the Shure MVI mixer, right?
Yes, I do.
Have you ever tried plugging that into your MacBook? Do you have an adapter to plug it into? Because it came with a USB cable.
Yes.
A plug to plug it into the USB.
Yeah. My sound's not doing well.
So, well, I just want to experiment and see if we get that lav working. It would sound fantastic. Why don't you play with that? What you'll have to do is hook up the MVI mixer to your laptop, and then you have to plug in the receiver to the MVI mixer, right?
Yeah.
And then turn on the lav, and the green lights will be on, and then you'll be good. And it might automatically select it, but you might have to go into your settings and select it as the audio source. But while he's doing that, Clive, let's talk about your watches that are for sale. What's happening? Nobody's contacted you? I mean, you just put some watches out there. What's going on?
2 of them went. I've got a few people trying to lowball me on the other one. It's
no lowballs, folks. No lowballs. These are the prices. Give the prices again. My gosh, these are steals.
Explorer 2, no box, no papers, but $4,500 plus shipping and handling. Super Luminova, solid end links, holes case. Best of all worlds.
That's a gorgeous watch. That watch could be an all-arounder, correct? Correct me if I'm wrong.
It absolutely could be.
That's thin enough that you could wear it under a dress cuff, correct?
Yes. And, of course, Cyclops, classic Rolex Cyclops on the date and the GMT function.
Mm-hmm.
Also, in the Rolex Ceramic Submariner, no date, 4 years old. This thing is in really, really minty condition, complete set, box and papers. Comes with everything.
All these people that are bitching and moaning about not being able to get a sub, here's a no-date sub, which is the one to get. It's the one to get. I hate to tell you folks, but the no-date is the way to go. He's got it in his hand. If they friend and family you the money, how quick can you get that watch to them in the continental USA?
As soon as it clears, maybe even
2 days.
Yeah, 2 days. 2 days would be in the mail.
They're going to have it in their hands
by Monday.
There you go. They're going to have the watch.
Or you can get on a list with a Rolex AD. You can wait a few weeks or maybe a couple of months
and pay more money.
You can play MSRP, and then you can play all that glorious sales tax to your, to your local authorities who have done so much to help you with that watch transaction. And
here's a comment: the Explorer 214270 is under the radar Rolex. It's a perfect everyday watch that is perfect for almost every situation. Do you all have Apple Watches to keep really good time? I have an Apple Watch, but I don't wear it anymore. I wear it almost never, but I do have one. I really like that watch, but it's been trumped by the Grand Seiko. And here, I'm going to switch to me because I can do that. Here's the the gold stunner on wrist. This is my 35 mil gold stunner, which a lot of people say is too small. I say it looks absolutely gorgeous, 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 and it slips right under that cuff. No problem. I wore it all day today. It was a joy to wear. It's easy to read with this dial and hands combination. Steve, you haven't seen this one.
No, I haven't. I have your pictures for sure.
It is just an absolute stunner. And so that's in rotation with, I'm going to cut to camera 3, and that's in rotation with my spring drive. And so between those two, I've got it covered. But if you were only going to go with one watch, that Explorer could be it. There it is. That is absolutely gorgeous. What's the price again on that?
$4,500 plus shipping.
Oh, my goodness. I might have to buy that, and I don't even need a watch.
Yep.
I don't even need a watch, and I'm thinking about PayPaling the money to you. Okay, so Steve, have you got that working?
I don't know. How's that sound now? Any better?
Tap on the mic. Not working.
Nope.
Yeah, they're connected. But
go into your settings on the MacBook, your audio settings, and make sure that that's selected, that mixer, the Shure MVI mixer, as your audio in. Take your time because we got Clive selling stuff here. That was it. You know, that's surprising, Clive, because the last live stream we did, we sold at least one of your watches right during the show, or was it two?
Two, actually.
Two of them sold live in the show. So what the heck is wrong with these viewers now? What are they sitting on their hands for? They got two deals here on two steel stunners, and they can't make up their mind. Is that what we're doing when we're confusing them?
Well, possibly, or it's, and admittedly, a few people, okay, I've had a few people bring up a few points. Number one, they said this is probably the worst time of the year to sell watches as a private person.
Okay. Number
two, they're saying, well, am I really just going through some hard times? Number three, they're trying to accuse, some people are saying that I'm trying to save up the money, let's just say for an adult tour of Southeast Asia. And I don't know where they're getting these things from, number one.
People will make up anything on the internet, trust me.
You know, you appear with Archie Luxury for like a year and a half, and people just make all sorts of assumptions.
And you don't even have to do that, trust me. They can still make up all kinds of stuff. So that's what happens. Craig knows how to sell a watch. Well, I don't know. I mean, we haven't sold it yet. These are the comments in the chat here. Okay, nice suit, Craig. Goes well with the gold stunner. Well, there you go. Agreed about the 1016 is 10K and not a daily wear. What's the 1016? What 1016 are we talking about?
1016 is an Explorer 1, okay. Like the original one with just the printed on loom. It's a 4-digit Explorer 1, like the one Archie first had.
Well, it wasn't 10K. What is he talking about? It's not that.
They're worth literally $10,000.
Really?
Yeah.
Not to me, they wouldn't be. Okay, this is the most entertaining live watch stream around. Turkey Vulture. Well, he must not watch very many live watch streams. That's all I can say. Craig knows how to sell a watch. Well, we'll see about that. True. Don't lowball Clive on that Explorer 2, folks. You're basically getting a GMT Master 2 for less than half the price of a 16710 Pepsi model. Steve, how big is the case on the special edition Grand Seiko Spring Drive you just showed? And
okay.
let me switch to Steve's playing with his audio.
How's my sound?
Tap on the mic again. I don't think you're on it yet. No. You might be able to select it in the Hangout. See in the Hangout itself, there's a little gear in the upper right-hand corner in the Hangout window. You see that little gear? Click on that, and that'll get you to the settings in the actual Hangout window that we're in the upper right. See the little gear? You got to bring your mouse up there for it to appear. Bring your mouse up to the upper right-hand corner, and the gear should appear. See it?
Not seeing a gear.
Take your mouse all the way up in the upper right-hand corner. You should see a little gear. Click your mouse up in the upper left-hand corner. Maybe it'll appear. Upper right-hand corner. I'm sorry. Upper right. Did I say left? Oh, jeez.
For those of you just turning in, this has been three middle-aged men trying to do their own IT support work. Again, three middle-aged men trying to do their own IT support work.
You got it, Steve?
Thanks for joining us.
Huh?
No, I don't see it.
You don't see the gear?
No, I got some other stuff hanging out over it.
We are this close and no cigar. You got everything hooked up and we can't get it to work. That's not good.
I know. We're at the I just saw the gear.
And when you click on the gear, there should be a microphone option to select.
Ah, okay.
Select the Shure.
How's this?
Yeah, get it a little bit higher up, closer to your mouth.
I'll be eating it.
That's fine. Okay, give me a count. Give me a count to 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That's good. Your level is a little bit hot, a little bit high, but that I don't know where you would adjust that. Maybe in the settings.
Yeah, I'll keep my voice down. How's that?
That
the
sounds.
Answer is 30 millimeters.
Sounds actually, better. You would go into. I think you'd go into settings. Never screw it. Just never mind. Forget it.
Yeah, people don't want to see.
There's a level adjustment in the settings. Oh, you know what? On the MVI mixer, on the front of the mixer, Steve, you know you can take your finger and slide your finger.
Right.
So those LED lights that are lit up, just slide it left to right so a couple of those lights go out. Got it?
How's that?
Say something.
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, it's close enough. Close enough. Okay, so yeah, we're just doing stuff live on the fly here. Live on the fly.
Okay.
So what? Oh, okay. Give us the size again on that watch. That
40 millimeters.
40 mils, and how thick is it?
How thick? Okay.
You know, I've got a bone to pick with Grand Seiko. Why don't they put the thickness on these watches on the websites? I guess maybe they don't want to tell people how thick they are, but I like to know how thick. 13 mils?
Yeah.
Okay, that's not bad. 13 mils is not bad. I'd like it to be 12 and a half or 12. I think the Snowflake's 12 and a half, I think. So, yeah, that's the other thing. It would not break my heart if they came out with some thinner. That's one thing I like about this gold stunner is it's so thin.
Well, that's my other prediction for the year, besides the ladies, is I think we're going to see some thinner pieces.
That will be nice. Yeah.
But that's not a fit. I mean, this is just my surmise for what's going on.
Hopeful thinking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, Steve, I've got a quick question for you.
Sure.
It's an Omega question. Now, okay, we know one of the most perennial popular Omega models is the Speedmaster Professional, right?
Yes.
Okay, now what, and of course, it's all built around the Apollo program going to the moon, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
July 20th of 2019 is the 50th anniversary of the Apollo 11 landing.
Yes.
Please tell me Omega is going to do something special, right?
I believe so, but again, I'm a 6-week-old dealer and haven't been to all the inner circle things yet, but I'm quite sure they will.
How is your inventory?
I've got about 50 pieces in the inventory right now, and I have about 15 more to come in my initial order. So
I'll tell you what, is it my imagination or do you not skimp on your inventory? You tend to get watches in stock, don't you?
Well, we want to be all in with the brands that we support. So we do stock to the extent that we can, for sure.
Okay, so David Lee says, it's a crazy world when a 1016 sells for more than the solid gold 18238. Absolutely it is. And David Williams says GS needs 42 mil sizing as well as 44. Says he's talking about on the divers watches. Mm-hmm. I would like to see them come out with some 40 mil divers too for the people that want the smaller watches, because there are people that want the smaller watches. Mm-hmm. Are the GS thick for aesthetic reasons, or is that the size of the movement? That's a good question, but some of the is it Cradors or whatever are thinner with a spring drive. I have seen watches with spring drives that were not as thick, so that's a very good question, though. But I think they can certainly make them thinner. I know that 12.5 mils is what the there are some that are about 12 mils that don't have the display back. I think the thinnest spring drive that I've seen kicking around was around 12 mils. I think that's the entry-level one, the spring drive. I think it's about 39 mils, isn't it?
Yep, and we've got to do manual wind. I've got to measure that. That's in the case now. I don't have the measurement.
That's a Grand Seiko?
Yes.
Manual wind?
Yes, sir.
Oh, cool.
I can go grab it.
Go grab it. Is it a dress watch? Go grab it.
It's beautiful.
We're going to cut. We're going to cut to Steve. Cut to Clive here while Steve. Yep. Steve is live. This is what you call live TV, folks. Steve is live going into the showroom to bring back an unheard of Grand Seiko. An unheard of Grand Seiko. We can hear his mic picking up all kinds of store activity. I'm not going to mute him because he won't know how to unmute himself when he gets back. We're dealing with three middle-aged men here, and nobody knows how to operate anything, so I'm not going to mute him. So we're hearing live whatever's going on at Little Treasury Jewelers as it's happening. I want to see that GS manual wind puppy, somebody says. Your thoughts on the snowflake and stainless steel? Well, I don't know if they're going to do that or not. That's a good question. Okay, we'll ask Steve that. The Railmaster is a great Omega. Let's see if he has a Railmaster in stock. We'll ask him that too.
I think I have 3.
3 Railmasters in stock.
Yeah,
Steve doesn't fool around. Steve does not fool around with inventory. He doesn't, you know, when you come into his store, you didn't make a wasted trip. I made the mistake 6 months ago or so of driving over there with some cash money in my pocket.
We helped you with that.
And that was a big mistake because he had a watch for me.
Now, do you buy watches as well? Do you take on trades or not?
We do. What do you have?
Steve says, "Let's do it. Let's do a deal right now, live."
Okay. I got this little thing going here.
All right.
37 millimeters, 11.8 millimeters thick. This is the SBGW 231.
Hold that puppy up right to the camera. Okay. Yeah. Oh, wow. Oh, man. Now, put it sideways to the camera so we can see the thickness. Wow. And you said that's what now, 11.5?
What do they have on there? 11.8.
Okay.
And ta-da.
And now you said it's manual wind?
Yes.
Is it? But it's not a spring drive.
No.
It's a high
manual
beat.
wind.
High beat.
No. Regular beat.
Okay, so they make an automatic. I mean, they make a. I'm sorry, not
regular automatic. Also,
they make a 28.8 beats per second movement.
Yes, but I don't have the reference number on this this movement because this is not the automatic that we're used to.
I didn't even know they made a manual wind watch.
We just got that. This is, I think this is formerly Japan only.
What's the power reserve on it? How can you wind it up? How many days does it go?
I don't know. I have hardly played with this. We just got it. And I'm sure it's on their website, or I'd hope it would be.
Somebody says Craig hates it. I don't hate it. Somebody said, does it come in gold? Somebody says stunner.
Oh, well, while I was at the case, I couldn't help but grab another piece. Oh, by the way, we're going to be talking
very clean dial, somebody says. And by the way, somebody commented earlier that it would be great if GS comes out with some sport watches with loomed dials, more watches with loomed hands and dials. And I agree. You're preaching to the choir on that. Can you show us the clasp on the Explorer 2, Clive? While he's messing around with that, show us the clasp.
This is like one of the later ones for this reference, so it has the flip clasp like a Submariner.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and those hold up fine. Those things work for years. Trust me. You're not going to have an issue with that.
Right.
Okay. Here's your gold.
Ooh.
All right, put it sideways so we can see the crown side.
Now, how big is that puppy?
That is the exact same size as the other one.
The limited edition, which is 40 mils, right?
The trilogy. So this, I'm going to double check it. And this is, I'm getting 38.5 on this.
Okay.
Maybe it's 39.
Yeah, no, 38. It's got a little odd-shaped case here, so...
I've got a 4K video of that puppy on my channel. It is stunning.
Yeah. And
but it's a little bit pricey, though. I mean, it's no joke.
Well, it's well-priced.
It's, what is it, 12.5 mils thick?
Let's just double-check everything.
Okay. I'm surprised the sub didn't sell, somebody said. That's a beauty, perfect dimensions, and a real movement. I guess they were talking about the previous one you showed. Cool, it even has a power reserve. What has a power reserve? The gold one does.
Right.
Yes, this is...
Okay.
Yeah, the partner to the blue one I showed you in
gold clasp too. Yes, it has a deployment clasp, correct?
Yeah, there you go. It's got a wrap on it.
It is stunning.
Nice.
Stunning. Archie would go crazy, Clive, if you turned up with that. He would lose his freaking mind. He'd be in the corner playing with blocks.
So, we're going to be on the 9th, Craig, up at your shop.
Okay, so that's going to be a spoiler alert, folks. This is a teaser here. We're going to go into detail on these watches when Steve comes up. He's going to be here in the house. We're going to have the macro lenses on these things, and we're going to show these watches to you right. How much is that puppy? Wasn't it $29,500?
That's right, Craig. You got it.
$29,500. But for you guys, since you're a friend of mine and you know me, when you contact Steve, tell him you know me, and he knows he's going to be beat up on the price, but he's used to it. He's used to rolling with the punches.
Thanks, Craig.
When my friends call him.
Saving the platinum for the 9th.
There you go. Oh, my gosh. The platinum. One of 20.
Yep.
And I've got cash money sitting here too, platinum cash.
I'm going to be looking for it in your digs.
Oh boy, that's going to be tempting. Okay, GS can make a watch. Yes, they can.
They sure do.
They're not real good at marketing, but they can make a heck of a watch. Okay, Grand Seiko kicks the pants off the current Rolex Cellini. I guess it does. Prefer the clean dial of the steel. Okay. And that I like that. I'm intrigued by the manual wind for a watch that you're not going to wear all the time. It's an occasional watch. That makes all the sense in the world. No date on it, right? It did not have a date.
No date. No, just clean as a whistle.
That's what you need for an occasional use watch. Clive, any comments?
I think people are wanting to see me to show the clasp again, or possibly the Grand Seiko. It's tough because I was wanting to see the clasp of the Grand Seiko. That's a beautiful watch.
Well, let's show both clasps. Let's show yours first, Clive.
Oh, I was doing that while you guys were talking.
Well, but you weren't on camera. Full screen. Now you're full screen. Yeah, we showed it once before. We showed it full screen once, and I said that those are good. I said that the stamped clasps are fine. They hold up fine. These people that don't like those older style clasps, I never had an issue with them. They always held up fine. I wore them for years. I mean, decades. So Steve has never had a problem with them.
Nope.
Does Little Treasury sell leather straps to accessorize a Grand Seiko? Brian's asking.
We can order Grand Seiko straps. They're a little pricey, or we have aftermarket. We're Hirsch dealers, Hadley Roma, and a few other choices. And we do stock the deployment clasps, which interestingly take months to get on special order. So here's
we lost your camera somehow. What happened? We lost your camera.
I don't know. Whoops.
Click on the camera. Make sure it's not muted. See the little camera symbol at the bottom? If there's an X in it, that means your camera's turned off. You may have clicked on it accidentally.
Yeah. For some reason, it went off. Okay.
There you go. It's back on.
Okay. Here's that clasp. I got the wrap on it. I hate to take it off. I just don't want to.
Yeah.
You see it?
Absolutely.
That's really beautiful.
And are you're gonna bring that when you come next week, and we'll put it on the macro camera.
Okay. Yeah.
Nice.
And then wait till you see that platinum. It's killer.
Okay. Craig's channel should rebrand itself as the Big Watch Pimp Daddy. David Lee, yes, the dial on the Steel GS was beautifully clean and legible. Wait till you see it under the macro lens. Bring that too, Steve, when you come. Hirsch and Hadley Roma make excellent leather straps. Is the Steel GS manual comes with a bracelet as well, or just on the strap?
Just on the strap.
Just on the strap. Steve treated me right when I said Craig sent me. That's Clay Clement.
Oh, hey, Clay. Good guy. Real good guy.
So, Jamie Y., is the GS Gold watch yellow or rose?
Rose.
Rose. It is gorgeous. I've got a 4K video of it on my channel. Just search Grand Seiko 18K, and that'll come up with some nice macro shots, close-ups of that. We'll have it close-up on next week's broadcast, assuming Steve hasn't delivered it to somebody. Craig, what camera do you use as the macro camera? We're probably going to use the FZ1000. We might use two. We might set up two different macros. You have a camera, right, with a macro, Steve?
I do. I have.
It has a HDMI output.
XE3 with a, actually it's a Zeiss 50 millimeter macro.
And it has an HDMI out, right?
Yeah.
Clean HDMI. Okay, so we'll probably hook that one up too. We'll probably have two macro cameras going next week.
Okay.
Don't get Clive talking about stickers, okay? Clive and Steve know how to present their watches for sale. No curse-filled streaming fits trying to sell a reverso engraved with a soured love letter. Okay. Yeah, we do try to keep this channel family friendly because I do have a lot of subscribers that are, that respect that. So there we go. What else do we have to talk about? Again, this is the 10th anniversary of Bitcoin. It has been pronounced dead more than 300 times over the last 10 years by trusted sources, and yet it still survives and thrives and is doing better than ever. Forget about last year's peak prices and all that. If you look at the long term, it's up. Get this. It is up 0.5% per day over the last 10 years. That has been the return on Bitcoin. 0.5% each day, given the current price right now, over the last 10 years.
Now,
Not
Steve,
bad.
Steve, there's something I've been seeing on other watch channels, Bear Clinic being one, Watchbox, and even Hodinkee. I've seen a lot. It seems like the latest Omega Aquaterra is gaining a lot of traction. I've actually seen people throwing it out as a worthwhile competitor to Rolex, Rolex Datejust. What's your opinion on that?
I think they're gorgeous. So,
What sizes does it come in?
42. I don't have it all internalized yet. I will have that.
So you're going to have to bring those next week too.
I will. Yeah, they're really, really pretty pieces.
Now, for those of you that are trying to figure out where Steve is coming with all these valuable prices, this is a secure location right near Camp David, and you can't get within 10 miles of here without having clearance. So don't even bother to try. So there's that. What would you say, as far as the Omega line goes, from what you've seen so far, what is the hot watch? If you had to pick one Omega to take home with you as your keepsake, which one would it be?
Who are you talking to, Craig?
Steve.
Okay.
To me?
Steve. Well, you're the one with the store full of them.
Yeah, well, I'm going on the simple end. I like the Aquaterra. I like the Railmaster. I'm not so much into the chronographs at this point. And
why don't you pick one? Take another break. Go out. Pick one that you really like of your current inventory. Pick the one that you like the most, and let's show one more watch before we wrap up.
All right, back to the floor.
And we got a comment, bring the Railmaster next week, please. He will. Somebody says 41 mil. Which group owns Omega? Is it the Swatch Group?
Yes.
It is. What's the price on the steel manual wind? GS.
For you? 4,300.
Well, you got it. They got to call you and deal direct with you and tell them that they're on.
This price 4,300. This is a not over dead beautiful watch.
Yes, I mean, you can't beat that with a stick. If you are in a situation where you dress like Steve, you wear a suit most of the time and all that, and you want a little bit dressier watch, and you don't want to break the bank. How can you beat that, Clive? How can you beat that watch?
It'd be really hard to. But yeah, I actually think the Aquaterra. Now, how much?
All right, Steve, go get the watch that you're going to feature, and then we'll get back to Clive's question. In the meantime, while we're waiting for him to come back, give one more recap on those steel stunners that you're liquidating, Clive. And I am going to try to get away with muting. How do I mute him? Let's see here.
That would be tough to. I mean,
yeah, I'm not gonna try to mute him because I don't know how to do it.
There's times where I've tried to mute people on my live stream. You can't bring them back. So,
yeah, exactly.
So what I'm talking about, first of all, is the Explorer 2. And again, Swiss-made super luminova, nice bright lube, solid end links, 40 millimeters, solid end links, and holes case.
Now, are the center links on that bracelet hollow?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, solid end links.
Yeah.
Aquaterra, right?
Yeah, it wasn't until a few years after. I don't think they had solid bracelet until they went to the 42 or the 42 millimeter.
Okay, so Omega. Bring the Railmaster next week, somebody says. Omega has endless models. Yeah, they got the same problem Grand Seiko has. Too many models, if you ask me. Don't stress about memorizing Omega reference numbers. Not even Omega engineers can remember them. He has snipers. You've been warned. There you go. Craig is a master of misdirection. Okay, that's excellent, listener. Omega is like the menu at Cheesecake Factory. 4,300. Now that's a steal. Absolutely. Steve doesn't fool around. He sharpens his pencil. Hi, Craig. Hi, Clive. And Steve's a high volume dealer. That's the thing about Steve, is he doesn't fool around. He does a lot of volume. Hi, Craig. Hi, Clive. Just popping in real quick to say hello. I got to head out to the gym. Have a good show. So Durr's showing off. He's going to the gym, work out with all his lady friends. Clive, how many Rolexes will you have after the sell-off? He can't count that high. You know, he'd need more toes. Once he gets to all his fingers and toes, he can't go any further than that. Great stream. Looking forward to seeing you all next week's stream. That's Trevor. I always wanted an Omega watch, Max. A blue dial Aquaterra 321. Clive, get yourself a Grand Seiko. It's the ultimate middle finger to Archie and Jen's watch snobbery.
Actually, Jen likes Grand Seiko.
Archie has said some good things about him too in the past. He has. I've got it on record. All right, Steve, come on into the house. What do you got?
Okay, I got two Aquaterras. I got one with a silver dial on a bracelet. Does that help?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And I have one with a light blue dial on a strap. And for me, it's a toss-up. I usually go with a strap, personally, but these are beautiful pieces.
Now, show us the other side. Is it a deployant clasp, or what kind of clasp is it?
Yeah, it's got a deployant. Sort of integrated in there. And just got a
bracelet. Now, can they, for somebody that wants to have everything, can they buy one on a bracelet and then buy a deployant clasp as a separate accessory?
Sure, we're dealers for all of the components, so yes, they can.
Well, there you go.
So, which one do you guys like?
I have to see them in person. I'm going to withhold judgment. Everybody's been asking me for the last month, ever since you announced that you were a dealer. They've been badgering me about Omega. I mean, every show badgering me about Omega. And I've told them.
But have they been honey badgering you?
Honey badgering me, yeah. And and what I've done is I've told them all the same thing. I'm going to wait until I see, touch, and feel them, and then I'm going to come out with my findings. So that's what's going to happen. I'm going to come out with my findings next week. We got more questions here. The steel manual GS looks like a Calatrava. I think it looks even better. The new Omega 300M is so nice. Clive, are you seriously considering a GS watch? If so, which one? I like the silver dial. Clive, what electric is... I think that he mean that. I don't know what he's talking about. Really good Omega quality. I'd go for the Aquaterra on a strap since the bracelet doesn't have micro adjustments. How much on the blue dial? I'm a sucker for blue dials. Those are two different people asking about the blue dial.
5,400, but call me.
Call him. Call him. He wants to move watches. See, here's the thing that the AD won't tell you, okay? And Steve, cover up your ears because I don't want you to hear this. Here's the thing that the AD will not tell you is it benefits him to move watches because the more watches he moves, the more play he's going to get from Omega. Yeah, when it gets to the point where there's some models that might be harder to get or whatever, you know, if he's moving a lot of watches, he's going to be able to get those watches. He's going to have more sway, you know, with Omega. And that's the way it is. And so the more watches he sells, the better. Period. Full stop. So he's not going to lose a deal if you contact him and you're a reasonable person. He's not going to lose a deal.
Underline reasonable person, please.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you know, these squirrely people, you know.
Yeah.
We block them when we find them on the channel here, so we don't have that many squirrely people here on the channel. Yeah. We got a few. we got rid of some of them though. Mm-hmm. All right. So what do you think, Clive? Is it almost time to wrap?
I think so. David Williams is asking, OKC weather is still crud, but it's supposed to let up by tomorrow. So Dave is the guy who bought the 36 millimeter Explorer 1, and I will post that. You know that you'll get a tracking number tomorrow, David.
Okay, so that's why he's asking about the weather. He's chomping at the bit.
Yep, I understand.
He's a good guy. He's been in a lot of our chats. He's a good guy, so treat him right, Clive. Put a candy bar in the box.
I gave him a sport Rolex for 3,600. Craig, I think I did treat him right.
I think you did. Yeah. I think you did. I've been telling people for months on the channel here to buy those watches right. Not to pay too much money for their Rolexes, especially their steel Rolexes. Have I not been telling them that, Clive?
Yep.
And now here's their opportunity to do just that. So what are they sitting on their hands for? If you want to buy a Rolex, steel Rolex, right, you better do it now because he's got them at fire sale prices because he's got his eyes on a gold stunner and it might be a GS. Craig, when will you be on Archie's show? When will you film Clive's with a hula hoop? There you go. Can you hoop dance, Clive?
I cannot.
Oh, there
at
you
all.
Congrats at David Williams. All right, well, on that note, I think we're going to wrap. Give all your contact information, Steve, how people can get in touch with you at Little Treasury and buy one of these stunners.
Okay, our website is littletreasury.com. I'm Steve at littletreasury.com. Phone number 410-721-7100. Looking forward to hearing from you guys.
Good. And if you want to send me an email with the watches that you showed, the list and your contact info, just so if anybody watches this later and they want to know which watches you showed and you know, how to get in touch with you, we'll put that in the show notes.
Yeah. Great. Thank you.
I'm going to first stop the broadcast, and then we'll hang out just for a second here. And everybody, thanks for watching. What's the date and time of our Omega broadcast next week, Steve?
It's the 9th, and what did we agree on?
4 p.m.?
4 p.m.?
I think so. Go live at 4 on the 9th.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you can join us, Clive, I know that's a little early for you, but if you can join us on the 9th at 4 p.m. our time, that would be fun to have you in the house as well.
Awesome.
I'm going to go ahead and stop the broadcast right now. Give me a second here. Completing event. See, I'm doing it right on my phone right here. complete event.